Edgar, it's nice to meet you today.
Nice to meet you too.
Glad you could come in.
Glad I could.
Did you find us easily today?
Yes, I had no trouble.
So, tell me, how did you exactly become acquainted with us and the internship position you applied for?
I first heard of the organization through community work projects in lower income communities. I further looked onto the company website and was impressed by the values the company instills in themselves. Integrity and honesty are values that my family instilled in me throughout my life. And with the mission statement of the company, we can make something happen.
That's always good to hear, yeah. Something for us is very important to us is having integrity in the workplace. And with this, tell me about a time you've done or been proud of work that you've done and work experience.
My commitment to work speaks volumes about me. I worked for a restaurant for 2.5 years. When I begin an endeavor, I stick with it. I worked mainly as a cashier and host. I was also trained to be a waiter and knew many of the operations in the kitchen. The manager remarked I was one of the most reliable and versatile workers he had ever had. This versatility and reliability is something that I bring to every company.
Yeah, and that's something for us, having a lot of versatility as well as sticking with a project and not giving it up. That's something that we've always prided ourselves and our coworkers on having. So, moving over to education now. Tell me about something in your education that you think you've done well at.
Recently, my classes have focused tremendously on bond valuation. I recently worked with Bloomberg Terminal in my financial institutions class. I searched for bonds and determined their cash flow, price yield, and liquidity based on the trading activity and bid-ask prices. After determining all the information on the bonds, I performed a total return analysis of the bonds and analyzed how the returns would differ with varying horizon periods, yield shift curves, and reinvestment rates. Using all this information, I drew upon what I had learned from class and determined what action should be taken according to the returns of the bonds.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've got a lot of analytical skills that you've developed through your education.
Yes.
As well. Alright. So that's something that we really need to be able to have is somebody who can analytically look at a situation and transfer those and be able to provide a good solution and to provide the best solution possible. And so that's something that we look for a lot in our interns is providing that. So how about extracurriculars? Is there anything you've done while at Xavier or in high school?
I demonstrated great creativity and problem-solving skills in my Latin club.
That's interesting. How about you tell me a little bit more about that?
I was the secretary of Latin club, and the club was in need of funds while I was in office. I used the connection I had to the restaurant and talked to the manager and asked him if he would accept a fundraiser being held there over the weekend. He accepted and asked that the customers bring flyers and that a percentage of the meal's proceeds would go to the club. The club generated over $300 in the 3-day weekend, and it was a huge success. The manager remarked that it was one of the most successful events that had been held at the restaurant, and the club had generated a good amount of money. This shows my ability to solve problems and think outside the box for any company that looks for me.
It's very much something that we are looking for, especially as an intern, is somebody who can creatively think and think outside of the box. And so that's something that we really value having in not only an intern, but then transitioning that to a full-time worker. Oh, Edgar, it was nice talking to you today.
It was nice talking to you.
I will get in touch with my recruitment team, and we will be in touch with you soon.
Okay.